dream, baby, just say yes.
Guys, ये family show है.
Class 6 when I got slut shamed for getting a haircut.
Welcome to P-Room Conversations, where the vibes are bussin' and the tea is hotter than your favorite latte. In today's episode, we're going to get into a Gen Z versus Millennial battle and decode the secrets of love, life, and the pursuit of being unapologetically ourselves. Okay, hi. Why is everybody behaving like...
I just got told to be quiet.
Born in a very confused era, sort of like extremely driven by digitalization and like, you know, you don't know probably what a mixtape is, or do you?
No,
have
I
you?
do.
Have you?
Yeah, and I think Indian Gen Zs have also seen a lot of things that Millennials
Yeah,
like
that could be true. That could
elsewhere
be true.
Our tech revolution came later.
But do you identify as a Gen Z and everything that you know
Yeah.
you guys
That
are
comes with
stereotyped and tagged
Yeah,
along with? So
and I think there are so many good things that are.
no, I never said they're bad things.
No, as in like I do associate with being a Gen Z, mostly because it's just great to be so accepting in certain circles of
Correct.
a Gen Z generation, because we're just so like okay with you being you, like there's no judgment, and if you do judge people, then it's just a red flag.
Yeah.
So that way I do enjoy being like identifying as a Gen Z. I think people think Gen Z is very frivolous, like they are very
Do you agree with that,
Shallow.
Lisa?
shallow
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
No, that's not what I think.
casual. Oh, people associate you with exactly what you said. Like you just associate them with like dancing, you know, like those stereotypes are a bit annoying. But I think most generations have had many stereotypes, and I feel like mine is still like trying to beat the idea of stereotypes. So I guess
Yeah.
even when there are existing stereotypes.
That's kind of meta.
Coming back to Lisa, you know, Lisa, I feel like we're part of the same community in that sense that we both are
Geriatric.
millennials, you know, early. The whole internet era, sort of, we've seen the
We saw the before and after.
we saw the before after. I think Instagram came right in front of us, and like then there's now so many of them, right? And
Yeah. पहले तो हम चिट्ठी लिखते थे.
चिट्ठी लिखते थे हम. हाँ,
कबूतर से.
हम actually na mixtape, like we used to do mixtape stuff, and now like you know, from mixtape to like the Spotify playlist,
Yeah.
and probably like the Gossip Girl world of
Oh my god, that was
you
my
know,
whole life.
like
Yeah.
I remember we,
Yes.
But you would have been very...
You
would
I
have
was
been
really
on
different.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually
'Cause I
seen it
was
on
in-
TV, like you know, I used to see
Oh.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade when Gossip Girl came out.
me
and
too,
I was like
around that.
I was
age.
13 when they were supposed to be 15 in the show.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
so there's a
remember
lot.
being like, what a scandalous life.
Yeah.
Is this going to be me in 2 years?
And
I used to feel like, is that how life could be
I know.
for me? Because it was like completely like unreal.
I mean,
right?
I'm American, and I was like, that's not high school. That's not my high
that's
school.
good.
Yeah, but like you know, to the new Gossip Girl
I
is
did watch a
about.
little bit
Oh,
of
you
that,
did?
yeah.
But it was very Gen Z pivoted.
It was.
But because I think to your point, you know, Gen Z is much more accepting. and
Yeah. the characters, which
Anti-stereotypes.
is-
They were more well defined.
Yeah, but we also call out a lot of. I feel like if they're forcing it.
Our generation, I will say there's a big difference between like how we were the first generation to like have the language of mental health. You were
Yeah.
the first generation to use it. Like we talk,
Use it, execute it, like
Yeah,
be open
'cause-
to the idea of seeking help, professional
Exactly.
help,
I
you
think
know.
they
That's
did.
true.
They were they like really carried that and made it actionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were the generation that would just burst our feelings online,
Yeah.
and you guys were like, "That's crazy."
Now it feels like if you want to access any kind of information or you want to touch upon any particular topic, there is the
internet.
right? You know, like
Except WebMD, guys. If you have a stomachache, it's
Yeah,
not
don't do
cancer. Like, don't WebMD your stomachache.
yeah, that's horrible. And I think we've all at some point
Oh,
spiraled
God.
at night. Like I've done that a couple of times.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, I'm pregnant. I have this cancer.
You have
and
an
I'm like,
abdominal cyst.
It's
Don't
not.
Google
It's not
your
a good
health
idea.
problems. We have doctors for that.
Yes.
It's like Google. It's the same thing as like spiraling and Googling too much about mental health. There's doctors for that.
Like both of you all have sort of like ventured out of your respective hometowns. Moving from there to Bombay, and content creation. I'm sure this wasn't really like your first stage and you were going first choice as your career. This is not something that you thought of. And then, like, so how has that been for you? And like, where are you at now? Like,
moved out
where
of
are
home
you at?
after school only. Like this is not the first time I've lived out of home. I studied literature, so this was very like offbeat to do. I was like, and it was not a. I didn't know you could actually monetize content creation. Like that was not a thing. Like you can actually have a career out of this. So it was pretty off. But Bombay, I would say a little more than Delhi. A lot more. No, I like Calcutta. I mean, of course, my home, so I'll always like that more.
I've been making music content since I was 13.
Okay.
So it's like, but I didn't think it would actually go anywhere. I was like, okay, fine. It's like a thing I do, and I have my 9 to 5 and I do this on the side. And so I had a job in data for 3 years before this happened at me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a journalist before this happened.
Journalism.
I think coming to India, the big flip for me was learning how to live within a communal society. Here, here to a fault, my neighbors know too much about me.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's still single. Why is she unmarried? I'm like, but
Oh, really?
tera kya?
Yeah.
Aapka, sorry.
आपका हम तो इज्जत रख रहे हैं आप अपनी बढ़ा तो लीजिए
आप तो मेरी बेइज्जती कर रहे हो पर फिर भी I was raised fine.
Okay, so through these experiences and living a very independent life, I want to touch upon how has womanhood specifically helped you navigate different experiences.
I just feel very like protected by my female friendships and energy and stuff like that.
Space of every form.
And I grew up a total tomboy, and unfortunately what that does is it makes you a pick-me. Like it kind of like converted into this thing of like, well, I've always been one of the guys. I'm not one of the girls. And it's not intentional.
Yeah,
because when I was young, I was a tomboy, but in your teenage years, because of just hormonal confusion, you start making an exception of yourself and being like, I'm not like the other girls.
Yeah.
And then in your 20s, you're like, oh no,
but I
am and want to be like the other girls.
I like other girls.
I like other girls. Girls are great. I want like 15 of them around me all the time. The big thing that happens when you move countries is you lose a lot of friends.
But that's good, no? That
it's a very quick weed out. Right? Yeah, it's a quick weed out process for who sticks around. And unsurprisingly, all of the ones that stuck around were girls. All my girls are still intact.
Wow.
And we all still stay in touch, and we have ways of we don't need to talk every day, but we know how to show up for each other.
Yes.
Do you have any personal anecdote that you want to share?
I went something. My first friends were just girls. Like I don't think I had male friends till I was in 11th grade, which is when I moved to a co-ed school. Class 6 when I got slut shamed for getting a haircut.
Oh, you did?
Class 6, okay. This teacher was just like,
slut means.
I got a bob cut, a little shorter than what I have right now. Exactly. And she was just like shaming me left, right, center. That
your
you're doing
teacher?
This for my teacher. That you're like doing this for the boys outside, the boys school outside school. And the way the 7 friends of mine were just together with me that moment. Like I now know that if I'm fighting with someone or if I'm in any conflict situation, I don't need a man to handle that situation. I do need a woman's support part.
Yeah.
I will need that. Yeah. And I will need my girls to just like rant about it also, maybe.
Yeah. That's insane. But yeah, I also feel like specifically when it comes to menstruation, I feel like women have really stuck together through that. Totally. Like, sometimes there's a sport, and we had like white uniforms in school, and like there was hardly any period education. Like, at least with me, I had started my period and then in 7th grade, and I remember I started my period in like 6th grade, and 7th grade we had period education. So there was nothing. I didn't know anything.
There was period education.
There was no.
Yeah. Same.
Oh, you guys didn't have any?
No, there was no concept of sex ed, period education.
Really?
It was like one day I woke up and I was like, what is happening?
That was strange.
Education.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So that wasn't like a part of your curriculum at all?
No, it got into our curriculum. Sex ed and all of this stuff was, I think, much later. It was like 9th grade. Very delayed.
In my girls' school, you couldn't say the word sex.
Really? Like, was it like...
It was like a mumbled. But yeah.
Meanwhile, Gossip Girl taught me everything I know.
Yes.
I think that's where that whole like pick me, unfortunately, didn't help at all. Because that was the time I would have been the most pick me.
Yes.
Is when I'm like hormonal and teenager and I want boys to notice me and think I'm an exception.
Yeah.
So like I really felt isolated in that experience. And I think that's probably why I pivoted so heavily to having strong female friendships later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I miss this whole camaraderie and I miss this whole community of support because I was so fixated on like boys notice me and like, you know, I hope that I'm cool with Ryan. I have a degree in a subject because a guy I liked had that degree and it gave us more to talk about.
Oh my god.
I took it very, very far.
Such a controversial confession.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't try. That's what I was just like, that I've not done.
I used to take the train in the opposite direction of my house
Uh-huh.
because this boy I liked went in the other direction.
Oh.
So I would do a commute
She
that
has
added,
a
oh
lot
my
of-
god. Like, it was bad. I would take an extra 25 minutes to get home because I was like, I'll just stay on.
But would you like talk to him?
Yeah, we were best friends.
Oh,
All of these stories are people who were like, who ended up becoming my best friends. And I was like, yeah. Yeah.
And you didn't date like any of any.
No. I get friend zoned constantly.
Yeah.
What's your
Fade of
current relationship status? I'm single.
Deeply single. Like it is just.
Are you single too right now?
Yeah, I
Okay.
briefly just stopped. I mean, I was dating somebody for a very short amount of time.
Okay.
And I'm excellent at 3-month-long flings.
Yes.
The
Are
longest.
we calling them situationships?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've never been in anything longer than 3 months in my life.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I've never had a relationship. They're all just flings.
I had my first quote unquote it's complicated situationship last year, 2023. Oh my god, those are worse than
They are.
6-year long relationship. But I feel like the timeline has nothing to do with like the level of impact and the heartbreak that you can face, you know, with a guy, right?
That's true.
I mean, Lisa,
Is
you
it?
wouldn't be able to probably tell
I
because
mean-
you never had actually been in a very long
Yeah,
relationship.
I have no idea what that is.
And why do you think that is though? Like,
Probably.
Why do you think you?
What about me stalking someone on the train and getting a degree? I mean, I'm not understanding. Perfect.
कोर्स कर लिया, गिटार सीख लिया, ट्रेन से दूसरी जगह चली गई, वो और क्या करे, वो
और
compromise
क्या मुझ में क्या कमी है?
Like she's the perfect candidate for Seema Aunty. She'd be like, compromise. Lisa would be like, yes, ma'am.
और शायद मैं-
But do you think you can really be friends with like people you've fallen for? I don't really believe in that. Like I'm friends with all
I
my
don't-
exes, but then I think I'm toxic.
You know,
Oh.
I'm friends with almost none of mine unless I take severe gaps in communication. Like
There've been gaps, but I'm
Yeah.
friends with like
I
most
think
of
if
them.
I've been friends with them before and I've developed feelings for them after becoming friends, then I stay in touch.
yeah.
But if our relationship is solely romantic and it has ended, then I
No,
don't
it
see
doesn't
the-
make sense.
I agree, by
Yeah,
the
I
way.
agree.
कितने दोस्त बनाऊं यार?
हाँ.
I'm very like,
Then you won't stay in touch. One of you will ghost each other. Just end
and then it's
badly.
hurtful. Then you see them out with someone
Yeah.
else, and then you feel entitled to have an opinion on that, and you're just like, why would I do this?
I don't need that.
I'm that person who can't let go. So if I'm like, oh, I'll be like, oh, okay, we can stay in touch, you know, like I.
But let go
touch you
what?
and
I
I mean,
I would let
as
go
a
of the
person-
I'm
romantic
not mature
angle
enough to not
completely,
stalk them
you know?
for a little bit.
Yeah, like
I have 2 fake
I take a
accounts
lot of
that I
time.
stalk people.
Oh.
Like,
Do you have a Finsta for this?
no, not really.
You don't have a Finsta to stalk people?
No.
Like to see their stories?
My best friend actually does that for me, and she sends me screenshots.
Oh, okay.
She's the biggest stalker in the
There
world,
we go.
and like she has so much. I don't know where she gets all
This is girlhood.
Yeah,
Villa time from. Like she's sitting in the US. So one of these days I want to stalk him. Like
Huh.
she's like, wait a minute, I'll send you screenshots. Like no, you give me your password. She's like, no, but what will I do then? So she went and like she took screenshots for me.
Your best friends are the ones who send you the screenshots.
Yes.
Yeah.
My friends did that. Like, I had a really traumatic end to one of these situationships. And I got, for 6 months, I would still get info from my best girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, look at him now. He's
Spotted
stupid.
him here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this one. Oh God, sorry for her.
And they're always just like, he looks like unshaven and
Yes.
unkempt.
Unkempt, unbathed.
Like, you were the best thing that happened
Who is
to
that?
me.
Yeah. I've had that
Yeah.
coming along. Even we're going to be playing this game. Okay, so here are some terms and words which are very Gen Z and related to dating.
Ready to fail at it.
Right?
Okay.
You should be the one teaching us. Okay, so we have some chits and we go one by one and you have to tell me what it means. And if you're close enough, you pass. If you're
You're playing too, right?
we're all playing.
Okay,
Yeah.
So we're all picking it together
Correct.
and then we're
And
reading.
if we are not close enough, the punishment is drum roll, everyone drum roll. We have to do some tongue twisters. Oh.
Oh,
Kinky.
yay! Oh.
How is that kinky? How?
It's been a while.
Okay, Lisa, you go first.
Hmm.
Are you ready?
Okay. Do I open it?
Number one, yeah.
One by one.
What do you think that means? I have like cheat
Oh,
code
a
now.
soft launch. Oh my god, I
God,
love soft
oh
launches. I do
God.
it all the
Oh
time.
my god.
It's when you basically show a guy's hand to imply you're dating, or like take a picture of the spread on date night, but he's not in the picture.
But
and
his
just-
hand is like this.
Yeah, and like one ear.
Yeah.
Soft launching is when you're like not ready to declare to the world that you're dating somebody, and
How did you know that?
But you know what it is? It's usually because you're in a situationship.
Right.
Kareema, your turn. But
Oh.
that was 10 on 10.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I employ it regularly.
Yeah.
She has experience.
Oh, what's that? Sexting.
Sexting. Yeah, I know the meaning.
What?
That means.
What is sexting? Or is it like
F.
faffing around and sexting, like banter?
Yeah.
Or
It
like-
is.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it is.
Oh.
Yeah, so sexting ideally means like fighting on text with your.
Oh.
My turn.
मैं बोली थी I will fail at it. खुद को नजर
So
लगाती
far,
हूँ
the
मैं.
Gen Zs are not winning this Gen Z
As
game, I
they
must
do,
say.
honestly.
Did you write these though? Then it's
Me
not.
Ashima did. I did not.
Gen Z only participates. We don't win.
Benching.
Benching.
Like put somebody on the bench. Bench.
I guess. Probably.
Yeah, right.
Benching.
Probably
Like not
like-
picking them for a
while?
Probably like, going back and forth.
Picking
So
the
like you
last.
bench them and then you explore
Right.
your other options.
Yeah,
and then-
exactly. That's what I would think.
And
Is
then
that
you
correct?
come
That's
back.
correct.
Is
That
that
is
correct?
I don't know any of these.
Cuffing, you know.
Cuffing, I don't know actually. I know
Cuffing?
that cuffing is a thing.
Like
I'm
cuffing.
forgetting.
Cuffing is to
Like handcuffing.
No, cuffing is to like trap somebody, like in a relationship.
Oh!
No, like, no, I wouldn't
Oh,
cuff so.
right, of course.
Yeah, if somebody is
Sorry.
cuffed, they're committed. The way I've always heard it was cuffing season, and that
Oh,
is,
right.
like, winter is cuffing season because it's cozy,
Is that correct?
and you want to be with somebody, so you're like, I gotta get my man, I gotta get a dude, I gotta cuff him.
So Kareema,
Oh,
yeah, tongue
my
twister.
punishment.
I think you should just do Chandu ke chacha. I'm
चंदू की चाचा ने चंदू की चाची को चांदनी चौक पे चांदनी रात पे चटनी
Chutney
चटाई
chutney chutney.
चटनी
Chutney
चटाई
ki chutney chutney.
चंदू
चंदी की चाचा ने चंदी की चाची को चांदनी रात में चांदनी चौक में चंदी की चटनी से चटनी चटाई.
चंदू के चाचा ने चंदू की चाची को चांदनी चौक पे चांदी की चमचे से चटनी
Oh,
चटाई
Something like that.
No,
Chandi
no,
chacha.
God.
Laddu?
3.
Who's Laddu? Sorry. From K3G.
That was a good part.
that was very good
That was a good
Yeah. What
part.
did we
Yeah,
do
yeah.
before?
Go.
You guys want to hear my best Babel from that film?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
please go
alarming.
for it.
Close your eyes. I asked this of you.
Mhm.
Wow, that's cool advice. किसने बताया पापा ने?
कौन है ये?
vocal larynx का काम तो करती है
Just
हमारी
like
ladies
मुझे नहीं देखा. Who is he? Okay, my turn.
okay
Cushioning. So what's the difference between cuffing and cushioning?
Cushioning is when you're letting someone down easy.
Lisa is just fucking killing me for
Is
what
it?
No,
reason?
wait. Now, just because she knows that we don't know anything that she would say will be
Oh.
credible. No.
Is it like
It's
cushioning
like that.
below?
No, wait. According to me, since it's my
Like a
question,
soft rejection.
Right.
I feel like cushioning is like you're putting somebody as a backup plan while you're also
yeah
potentially exploring other people, but you're leading
I
them
mean,
on.
Have you guys done that? Have you kept a backup plan?
Once,
we all
yeah.
have. no?
Once, yeah, and I think
once only
once properly.
a
Like, I
little
was
subtle ways everyone
like when I
keeps
was
backups
but
are.
when I was transitioning from one relationship to another, so that guy was my boyfriend for like years, and then I was like, oh baby, you're my cushion, let me explore. And then when I found my next one, I left him.
you went up to him
The
and told
longer.
him you are my cushion.
You are my cushion.
You my
Kind of.
pillow babe.
I think I did
Too
try,
many
and he's like, yeah, come all over, walk all over me. What did you say? What's the joke? And he
Oh, I use this word all the time.
Sus. She has said this 40
yeah, she's
times.
actually said
I think
this
you
on the
have to.
podcast.
I've already dropped sus
Yeah,
many
yeah.
times. I said all the time.
It's for
People
the
really
Gujarati
do be
guy
sus out
also.
here. I was very sus in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Sus of me to have gained an entire degree based on the guy.
It's me all the
But
time.
it was a great conversation, and I do have a lot to reflect upon. So it's like it's giving me a lot of food for thought, and I hope anybody who watches it, people please watch the podcast, like share it, and like
Sure.
these two beautiful single women out here.
Yeah. You might not want to date me, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm a
honestly,
mess.
like-
I'm really.
Well, thank you so much. Okay.
Yay! Love you.
What's a good song? Can we just do Love Story by Taylor Swift? Does everyone know?
Oh my
it?
god, yeah.
That's like
Singing
that.
it together.
Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting. All that's left to do
feel like
is
it's also
run
like we've
you
spoken a lot
be
about
the
womanhood.
princess. I'll be the princess. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes.